Welcome to Good Games Spawn Point, the show for younger gamers by gamers. I'm Hex.
And I'm Barjo.
And I'm Darren.
Do you know, Hex, I think most of the Spawnlings are on holidays right now. School holidays, in fact.
Lots of time for visiting friends and family.
One for defragging your hard drives and consolidating your folders.
But most importantly, time for lots of games. What are we going to look at this week, Hex?
Or we get to run around in some classic movies in a new Kinect game.
That thing wants to be activated, that's all I'm saying.
And I'll be issuing my first I'm No Noob challenge for the year.
Well, first up, I think it's been a while since we've had a look at some smart little downloadable smartphone tablet games, so why don't we have a look at some of them? Right, let's squish some pigs.
In space.
Affirmative.
Yes, the latest game in the hugely popular bird-flinging simulation has arrived with Angry Birds Space. I think we all know the basic idea of Angry Birds now, right? You shoot various types of birds out of a slingshot to squish those egg-stealing piggies. Simple.
Affirmative. But things are a bit more complicated now that the trusty gravity of Earth's surface has been replaced by the gravity fields of planetoids and asteroids, surrounded by the zero gravity of space.
It does make for some interesting puzzles and satisfying shots when you have all that gravity to worry about. And I love it when a bird misses but gets trapped in a planet's gravitational pull and keeps spinning around.
Definitely, there's some great level design here, but it's also very much the Angry Birds we know and love, with many of the old birds making a return. There have been a few tweaks though. The yellow bird will now zoom to wherever you tap on the screen, for instance.
And by finding special gold exteroids, you'll open up a wormhole to special stages based on old games such as Space Invaders, Mario, and Breakout, which I particularly enjoy.
You also get a line now to show you where your bird is going to fly, and that helps with all the gravity. Plus there's a whole new bird, the ice block, which freezes everything around it. Makes for some smashing good times.
The mighty eagle is also back, but of course here he's the Space Eagle. You can summon him to clear a level, but only if you're playing on iOS. You're awarded a few Space Eagles for free, but you have to pay for any extra ones now after that, which is not that great.
And speaking of extras, you get 60 levels at first, with an additional 30 available as a paid-for download. You'll get quite a lot of challenge out of those first 60, but the last 30 offer some much trickier levels.
Anyway, let's wrap this up, Badge. Angry Birds has always been some good, simple fun, and in space, it's even better. I'm giving it 8.5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Yes, I like this more because I like space quite a lot, and it's also quite addictive trying to 3-star every single level. I'm giving it 8 out of 10 rubber chickens. But that's not all the flicking we're going to do today, because now it's time for Fibble, Flick and Roll.
Play as the very little alien, Fibble, who has crash-landed and lost his friends in someone's house, and it's up to you to get them home. To get home, Fibble has to be flicked through 30 little courses scattered around rooms in the house, and the controls are very simple. You just pull back on Fibble to flick him, tap the screen to activate objects, and tilt to give him a bit of a nudge in that direction.
Things start off with some simple, straightforward courses, but after you start meeting some of Fibble's friends, things get much more complicated.
The first friend you meet is Bite, who pops up out of the ground to launch Fibble into the air, while Octo, the octopus, can grab Fibble and fling him off in different directions. Vroom simply boosts Fibble's speed, and finally, Ragno can pick Fibble up and swing him into those hard-to-reach places.
You'll often be left to figure out where exactly his friends need to be placed in the track, but it's generally pretty obvious. For example, if there's a jump, you'll need Bite, or if there's multiple directions, then Octo is clearly the man for the job.
Overall, I'd call this an easy game, but I did struggle with some of those later tracks. Getting through a level is no problem, but your score is based on how many coins and stars you pick up, as well as how quickly you do it. And trying to get them all fast enough can be tricky.
You're also scored on how many flicks of Fibble it takes to reach the end. It's always possible to reach the end of all tracks with just one flick, which you'll need to do to get the top points. All of these scoring systems combine to make each course a fun challenge, even on fairly easy courses.
I just love the look of it. It reminded me a little bit of De Blob with all those bright colours and cute characters. I especially love the way Fibble gives each of his friends a big hug when he meets them for the first time.
Well, Hex, this is developed by Crytek, a studio renowned for their graphically impressive first-person shooters. Clearly, this is another showcase for their expertise.
Well, I think we should wrap this up. There's a good challenge here, and I had a good time. I'm giving it 8 out of 10 rubber chickens.
I agree with you, Badge. I had a great time with it as well. It's 8 out of 10 from me as well. But right now, I'm off to read the news.
Oh, have a good time.
Yeah, give me a flick.
Okay.
Like Fibble.
Okay.
Ow. Just kidding. Welcome to the Spawn Point Newsdesk. This is Hex with the latest headlines. The first of this month was, of course, April Fool's Day, and games publishers the world over did their best to prank us with fake game announcements. Harmonix announced Rock Band, the board game, Blizzard tried to get us excited about Zergling teachers typing, and BioWare teased a Mass Effect cartoon series. Best of all was Google's 8-bit version of Google Maps for the very old cartridge-based Nintendo Entertainment System. If only these were real. Sometimes a game becomes so popular it gets snapped up by Hollywood to become a movie. But would you believe a game from 26 years ago is finally getting a go? Rampage, the Monster Mash arcade game from 1986, is in production by New Line Cinema, the studio behind The Lord of the Rings. In the game, you played a giant creature, either George the Gorilla, Lizzie the Dino Lizard, or Ralph the Werewolf, with the aim being to demolish everything in sight. Let's hope they don't try to make the monsters talk.
Right, left, right, up. Watch the inertia. I've crashed.
Darren, can you lower your force field?
Oh, hello, Barger. Have you misplaced your manners?
Darren, can you please lower your force field?
The magic word goes a long way, Barjo. There you go. You should now be safe on my ergonometric cube.
Thanks, Darren. What's got you so engrossed here that you're neglecting the safety of your co-host?
Well, I'm playing Cosmo Cabs, a devious little free flash game that can be played in ordinary web browsers. The objective is to fly around a futuristic landscape, shunting humanoid passengers to their destinations. It seems simple at first, but there are black hole freeways and speed cameras everywhere. Take too many hits and your cab will explode, diminishing your high score.
Whoa, jeez! Sounds like it separates the nooblets from the pros, Darren.
There indeed. Cosmo Cabs has inspired me to set another I'm No Noob challenge. To enter, all you have to do is deliver all 4 passengers and get a score of at least 100,000. Take a screen capture of the high score you get at the end, and then send that image here. The spawnling who submits the highest legitimate score will receive the special Spawn Point goodie bundle, including an official Darren badge. Content subject to change without notice. The ABC reserves the right to make biased judging decisions. Noobs will be lasered.
Well, Darren, I think I'll sit this one out because it wouldn't be fair if I got some massive score and then won the badge and everything.
Oh, of course, Barjo. You just keep telling yourself that.
Barjo, what are you doing? It's time for us good game. This inbox won't answer itself.
Right, back. Oh, I've already got an entry. And it's from Derp with 300 points. Oh, Derp, you didn't listen to the instructions. Noob.
All right, Hex, it's time to get that inbox open and get our brains into overdrive, into trying to answer the questions using the power of our minds and the facilities available to us.
All right. Let's go. We're going to start with this one from Isabelle in Adelaide, South Australia.
Combined effort of technology
Just
and
go
human
on and
brains
on, don't
together
you?
to answer all the questions possible. Hi, good game. Is there a netball game for DSi, Xbox 360, or Wii? Please answer. Hex is awesome. Barjoy, yeah, you're awesome as well. Darren, please go home. Well, sorry to say, Isabelle, but there's never been a netball game made for those platforms. It's a real shame, as we know that it's the most popular team game for women and it's played by over 7 million people in over 70 countries.
But Liz Ellis has actually designed a netball game for iOS called Netball Goal. All you do is swipe the screen to try and score goals though, so it's hardly a proper netball game.
It looks a bit simple and rubbish.
Yeah, it's not very good, but it's pretty much all there is out there for netball fans, unfortunately, and hopefully that changes soon. But let's move on to this one now from Issy, who is in Adelaide, South Australia. Hi, good game people. Is there any way that I can watch your whole episodes on the internet because I keep missing it on the TV? Please help. I've asked this question so many times. So please help me. Hex is Cole, Go is dumb, and Robot is Cole.
I want to be Cole. Why can't I be Cole?
Won't dispatch us then. Well, the sure is, Issy, if you go to our website here, you can watch our most current episode right there on the front page.
And if you click on the videos link on the sidebar, you can find a streaming version and a downloadable version of every spawn point ever.
And you can even subscribe to our podcast, so every episode will be downloaded to your computer or mobile device automatically. But moving on to this one now from Jordan, who lives in Sydney, New South Wales.
I live in Sydney, New South Wales.
So do I.
I know.
What's the deal?
Hey, good game SP. I love making my own cities and games, like Tropico 4, Jurassic Park Operation Genius, Space City. But is there a game on iPod that is like Tropico 4 in its real-life simulation, not like Space City? Please answer. P.S. I love your shows. Well, Jordan, there's more than a few city builders, but probably the most realistic simulation would be SimCity Deluxe.
Yeah, and it's actually quite a comprehensive mobile version of SimCity 4. You'll have to build up your city and worry about everything from zoning areas for residential or industrial to supplying power and water to everyone.
Not to mention looking after education, crime, fire safety, health, and all of that fun city management stuff.
Indeed. Now we're going to move on to this one from Thomas in Adelaide Mount Campus in the ACT. That's confusing.
It's a bit confusing. It's a mountain campus?
I thought it was going to be
Adelaide
Adelaide, but it's
Mountain
Adelaide
Campus.
Mount Campus in the ABC.
Mounted campus on Adelaide.
It's a made-up place, probably.
Hi GGSP, wondering if you could find out for me if there is going to be a anime, Bleach, or One Piece Xbox 360 game. I've just bought the Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Generations game and I love anime games. Thank you so much.
Sorry to say, Thomas, but you've got the wrong console if you want to play Bleach and One Piece games. There are heaps of One Piece games, but they're on pretty much every platform other than the 360.
And the latest one is going to be One Piece Pirate Warriors for the PS3. It looks pretty good, although there's no confirmed release date for Australia yet.
And it's the same deal with Bleach, unfortunately. There are Bleach games on just about everything other than the 360, with the latest being Bleach Soul Resurrection for PS3. And sadly, it doesn't look like there's any coming out for the 360 in the future either.
Why is that, do you think, Hex?
Well, I think it has something to do with the fact that the Xbox 360 isn't that popular in Japan, so yeah. But anyway, let's move on to this one from Thomas, who lives in Melton, Victoria.
I hear Darren's really popular in Japan.
I'll bet he is. He's a robot.
Yeah.
Robots are huge in Japan. He'd be like a rock star over there. Oh man. You should suggest you go there and you can start a rock band and you can do
He's already got one. No, he's already got a rock band over there.
What's it called?
It's called Darren and the Amazings. It's just him though.
It's just, does he multiply himself? Like
No, it's just him. They go, where are the Amazings? And he goes, except with his little hand. He's like,
I was about to say Darren doesn't have
takes
thumbs.
quite a long time for him. They mainly do pop rock fusion with jazz ballads.
Okay.
Yeah.
Pop rock fusion jazz.
Yeah. It's so terrible.
Does Demolition Derby exist on PS2? I've been looking for it for years, but I haven't found it. PS Hex and Barjo rule, and Darren is the biggest noob ever. PPS, we love your show.
Well, Thomas, technically, no. There's no such game as Demolition Derby on PS2, but there was Destruction Derby for the PlayStation 1, and since the PS2 is backwards compatible, it would work if you could find a copy.
And if you had a PS3 or a PSP, you could download the original Destruction Derby from the PlayStation Store. There was Destruction Derby Arenas for PS2, but it wasn't as good as the original. In fact, it was so average that it was the last Destruction Derby game ever made.
If you're looking for something similar on PS2, I'd recommend taking a look at Flatout. It is rated M, so you need to check with a grown-up first, but it has destruction derbies and lots of destructive racing.
And the upcoming Dirt game, Dirt Showdown, looks like it's going to be full of car-on-car destruction, and that's going to be out next month. Fingers crossed it's good. Moving on to this one from me in Brisbane, Queensland. It's not actually me, it's just the person.
Oh.
His name is me.
I thought you sent one in yourself.
No.
I was going to say, because we're meant to answer them, and if you send in yourself,
No.
it's a waste of time.
I'll send you a question one
Just
day.
say, you can just answer it yourself.
I'll use a pseudonym. Hi, do you have any vague idea as to when Animal Crossing 3D is coming out? And will you review it when it does? Will you also review Kid Icarus Uprising? I sound really posh. Bye.
Hex, your keyboard's all sticky. Have you been eating mangoes on your keyboard?
No.
I think you have. I don't want it back.
But this is my keyboard. This was your keyboard.
I love mangoes. Well, we do have a vague idea about Animal Crossing 3D, but it's only vague because they haven't confirmed any release date yet. It's simply set to come out sometime this year. And I think the chances are pretty good that we'll review it, unless it comes out while we're off air over Christmas.
Yes, and we'll be reviewing the new Kid Icarus in the next couple of weeks, so keep an eye out for that. But we have this one now from Red Dog in Dampier, New South Wales.
Do you say Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Z?
I say Dragon Ball Z because I hear that so often on the TV, but we say Z here in Australia.
I say Dragon Ball. Hey, good game, can you please answer my question with a noob on top, because you never ever do. Okay, here it goes for the 1000th time. How come there are games in other countries like Vampire Nights on DS that won't come out in Aussie? P.S. Are there any good Bakugan games? P.S. Is there any new Pokemon DS game coming out? P.S. Is the Darren ringtone still on your website? By the way, I need more competitions. Lots of heart. Red Dog. Ha! For the spawnlings who don't know, that little symbol and then the number 3 is a love heart when you go like that.
It's like a less than 3.
Yeah, it's not. He's not saying less than 3.
No, it's like a sideways love heart.
Yeah,
So.
not less than 3.
No.
Okay, Red Dog, lots of questions there. As to why some games don't get an Aussie release, there's no one reason why, but it's often due to publishers either thinking it won't sell very well here, or that the game has been made in another language and they don't think it's worth getting it translated.
Yeah, in the case of the Vampire Night game, that's actually a dating simulator, which is a popular kind of game in Japan, but not so much here.
Also, we haven't played all of the Bakugan games, so we can't say if they're all any good, but there's certainly a few out there. There's Bakugan Defenders of the Core, which is on just about every console and handheld.
And there's Bakugan Battle Brawlers on loads of consoles. And finally, Bakugan Battle Brawlers Battle Trainer, which is just on the DS. Looking at some other reviews of them, though, they don't seem amazing, but I think they're alright fighting games. So since you're a Bakugan fan, I reckon you'll enjoy them.
And yes, they're currently making Pokemon Black and White 2 for the DS, but not the 3DS, although you can play DS games on the 3DS, so it kind of is. And they will hopefully be coming out sometime towards the end of the year.
And finally, yes, you can still find Darren's ringtone to download just below the poll on our website. And speaking of our website, that's all the time we have for this week, so if you want to ask us something, then jump on the website and ask away!
Ask away. I like saying Bakugan.
Do you?
Yeah, Bakugan, Battle Brawler, Battle Trainers, Bakugan.
I like saying Tatsunoko versus Capcom. Tatsunoko versus Capcom.
That's pretty fun. You know what else I like saying?
What?
Right, when it comes to making feely-good family animated films, you can't beat the guys at Pixar, who brought us such films as Toy Story and Up. And now they've crammed 5 of their favourites into Kinect Rush, a Disney Pixar adventure.
Before you can jump into the game, you're scanned by the Kinect to create a Pixar-esque avatar of yourself. It's pretty good at detecting your clothes and the colour of your skin, but it doesn't try and replicate your face.
That's probably for the best, though. If it did too good a job, we'd probably end up looking a bit creepy.
Yeah.
It's worth mentioning that the Kinect simply refused to scan me in, so beware. This game is prejudiced against robots.
I don't know if that is worth mentioning, Darren. I don't think there are that many robots watching.
Well, there's Mumbot, Derp, and R2. Hello, Mumbot. Hello.
Well, I guess there are a few then. Fair enough. Well, once you've been scanned, it's off to the park.
Okay, kid, this is it.
A small hub world connecting each of the 5 film areas.
You're gonna love this place.
You'll find just 1 level or episode available in each area to start with an extra 2 to unlock.
All of these kids are gonna want to play with you whenever you're ready.
The episodes aren't based on actual scenes from the films, though. Rather, you meet a bunch of kids in the park who imagine new situations for you to play through.
Hey, what if we're at Willie's Butte in Radiator Springs and Lightning McQueen is looking for a new car in his racing team?
You were awesome, buddy.
And you get to play as a character based loosely on your avatar, which is nice and all, but it does feel a bit like you're getting the short end of the stick.
You like Toy Story? Let's play some Toy Story Pretend. I'm always Sheriff Woody. And you can be your own toy.
But I want to be Woody.
Well, at least you get to unlock different abilities and characters later on. But let's talk about the controls.
Affirmative. To move around, you simply have to move your arms as if you're running.
Hey, howdy, hey. We're gonna save the day.
And you turn by simply twisting your shoulders in the direction you want to go. At times, it can be a tad clunky and awkward,
Now hold on, we can figure this out.
but overall, it felt quite responsive and intuitive. I much preferred using my arms to move around compared to games where you have to use your legs.
Is that because you don't have proper individually formed legs, Darren?
Affirmative, Hex, because I don't have proper legs.
Small price to pay to have rocket boots, though.
Go affirmative.
Each level usually takes about 5 minutes to finish, and most have you doing more or less the same kind of obstacle courses. You'll be running around, collecting coins mostly, and in between that you'll be doing a bit of climbing, jumping, balancing, flying, ball riding, falling, paddling, sliding, swimming, hanging, throwing, and of course lots of driving around in cars. Most of the controls felt responsive, and there's a good amount of stickiness when you're jumping on things. Like that tightrope, just get on the rope.
Yeah, and they do a good job of mixing things up, so you're not doing the same thing for too long or over and over and over again.
Time to slide.
Except in that Incredibles level, which seems to be just non-stop sliding.
Time to slide. Time to slide. Time to slide. Time to slide.
I wouldn't have minded seeing a bit more variety in each of the films, though. It's pretty much just a different coat of graphics over the same course.
But you can't deny that those are excellent coats of graphics, Barjo.
I've never seen anything like what you just did there.
They almost rival the quality of the films.
Oh, they just look spot on, don't they? And it was nice to hear some of the original voice actors from the film involved.
And I've got complete confidence in Mater. If he says you're good enough, that's good enough for me.
Where they couldn't get the original voice actors, the sound-alikes are pretty good too.
Now what do we do?
Hold on, no matter what, do not let go.
With the exception of that Michael Caine impersonation, that was pretty bad.
Discretion is vital. We'll keep a low profile and see how close we can get.
Can you do a Michael Caine impersonation, Darren?
Oh, affirmative. Shall I bring the bat pod round, Master Wayne?
That was pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Affirmative. I've got a new Michael Caine ship.
There's also split screen co-op, and anyone can jump in at any time. And I think this was at its best when there were two of us. At the end of each level, you're awarded a medal going from bronze up to platinum based on how quickly you finish as well as how many coins you've collected. And since each level has a few different paths to take, having two of you makes getting enough coins to earn gold and platinum medals a lot easier. Plus, it's always better playing with a friend.
There's a few simple co-op puzzles scattered around too, which are just solved by the AI buddy if you're playing solo.
And as we mentioned earlier, completing levels will earn new special abilities, extra objectives, and playable characters from the films. And they're not just for looks, because you need to use those abilities and characters to access previously blocked off areas, and find secret items, as well as extra juicy coins. It's a great incentive to replay levels, since it's almost impossible to earn more than a silver medal until you've earned a few unlocks.
We should wrap this up though. Final thoughts, Hex?
Well, it's quite a basic game really, but it's pulled off with enough charm and style that I think any spawnling that's a fan of Pixar will really get a kick out of this, so I'm giving it 7 out of 10.
I was sad to see no Monsters Inc. or Finding Nemo, and I do think it is quite a repetitive game, but it certainly looks very pretty, so I'm giving it 6 out of 10 rubber chickens.
We did it! All toys are safe and accounted for.
Well, sadly, that's the end of another episode of Spawn Point for this week. What's on the agenda for next week, Hex?
Well, I'm pretty excited. It's Poke Park 2.
And Kinect Star Wars!
Lightsaber action.
The force is strong with this one. Mine, or I help you not.
That's my Wookiee.
It's much better than Darren's Yoda. What was that about? Who am I?
I have no idea. Who is that meant to be?
This little guy sitting next to Jabba?
The little rat thing.
Yeah.
Oh, the little... Yeah, okay.
Well, until next week, gamers, Barjo out.
Hex out.
Darren out.
Darren, can you do a Darth Vader?
It's like he's in the room with us. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Can you do a mouse droid?
A what?
A mouse droid, you know. Michael Caine was better.